Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and I'm taking focus here. Today's episode is The Bride of Boogedy. Yes, this is a sequel to the Magical World of Disney episode Mr. Boogedy, and this was from 1987. So I think the other one was like 85 or something like that. I'm not really sure. But this was the inevitable sequel. I don't know. I don't know how much that caught on in the 80s on the Disney Channel or wherever this actually aired. Magical World of Disney, I imagine. I think it aired in the on ABC in the 80s. I imagine. I don't remember the Magical World of Disney as well as other people do, but yeah, it's a series and I've had different stories, movies, specials, things about Disney World, Disney parks, but also stories. And of course, I guess in the Halloween time, they would put on things that are horror, scary stuff. This is not scary at all in any way, but well, okay, there are scary elements. A ghostly figure from from the afterlife coming back to haunt children. Yeah, that's a scary element, and the kids dealing with them with that same element again after the first time of defeating him and taking his cloak, depriving him of his power. I honestly can't remember a lot about the first one, except that we have most of the cast back. Some of the cast didn't return. The little kid plays Augie or Aubrey or whatever his name is. He was replaced. Christy Swanson, who played Jennifer, is replaced. But what matters is, well, Richard Mazer, the dad, plays Carlton. Yeah, Carlton Davis. Uh, Mazer, he's hilarious. He is just perfect in this. And I honestly, I should have watched the previous episode that I did on this, or the first film. By the way, this is an hour and 33 minutes, so it technically does count as a film. So it's, with commercials, it would have ran 2 hours on TV. He and Mimi Kennedy, who plays Eloise, his wife, honestly, seriously, they might have been the horniest couple on Disney. Anything Disney. They're a couple that are absolutely in love with each other through no matter how weird they get. And they get weird pretty publicly. And I mean they're romantic towards each other, and the fact that they get weird in public around other people and children and everything else. I mean, yeah, the kids are just like, oh, guys, seriously. You know, I honestly, in that house, I don't know how they did not live in perpetual fear of being goofed on, because they really love pranks. They love scaring each other. They when his brother comes to visit, they have a whole setup where the boo are freaking him out. He's a practical joke toy salesman, uh, and this is a thing that Richard Mazer here, Carlton runs like a joke shop, a practical joke shop. I don't know how that would work in today's economy. Like, we're lucky that Spirit Halloween sticks around from August through October. Um, it can't sell anything into November, so it in this they live in Lucifer's Hollow or something, like something. They're in the Northeast. They're up in Stephen King area. They they run a joke shop in a town named after the devil, and they have like Lucy Fest. I guess is rather than saying Halloween. I don't know. I mean, this is. I realize just now, just this moment, that we're in the middle in 1989 or so, 87. We are in the middle of satanic panic, the era of where the devil was everywhere, in the rock and roll, playing backwards, and just everywhere. There were seances in the woods, and people are just showing up on Maury and Geraldo and Oprah and telling them all that when Oprah did more trash TV, they're all telling them that their kids were taken over by Satan, and they had there was so much stupidity back then. Seriously. So yeah, I guess, and Halloween was part of it, because putting drugs or nails or needles in kids' candy or something because Satan told them. Again, none of it was real. It's just, I guess maybe at this point they just couldn't say Halloween, because honestly, this would have made sense if they were just like, oh, it's a Halloween festival. Not Lucy Fest. What come on. I mean, it even sounds more sinister than Halloween. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense why it's like this. But there's no mention of Halloween. But it's clearly the fall and ish, and there's a big festival in the center of town because the guy where they used to have it in the past, played by Eugene Levy, wanted to now charge them to use his property, and Carlton, because he has a joke shop just after they moved to town, was made the official mayor of Lucy Fest, so he's in charge of everything, and that makes Eugene Levy mad. And he runs a joke. He runs a general store, like an old timey general store, like you'd find in the Old West, but also has a joke shop section to it. Like he finds Carlton as a competitor. Literally none of this stuff makes sense in modern times, or probably even in 1987. There's just the writers are just running fast and loose with just the wackiest concepts. What makes it work, despite the not great special effects, better than the first one, but still not great special effects, is the line delivery, especially from Mazer. There's just a lot of really good lines, and Eugene Levy, at one point he comes walking around a corner and he's in a huff, he's not happy, and part of me thinks that this could have been improvised, but just to show just how mean of a guy he is, to just nail it down, he walks by a baby carriage that just seems to be unattended at the corner, and he gives it a push off screen, and then just keeps walking. Then you see the mother going, "Who moved my baby carriage a few inches? What's going on?" And then she just walks away. Like, this is all happening in the background as he moves into frame. It's really just really weird. There's just so much weirdness to this film. And they throw a bunch of weird red herrings throughout this. Like, Jennifer comes home and she's confronted by what appears to be Mr. Boogedy in the woods, but it's probably not. She sees clues that other people have, like, a pilgrim costume with a cape in their homes or businesses, and she's wondering if is it Eugene Levy? Is it this other woman who's weirdly jealous of me? Maybe they had a rivalry and I just don't remember. Because, by the way, yeah, this is not Christy Swanson. It's a different actress, Tammy Lauren, who's actually really good. She really, when there needs to be waterworks or distress or anything else, she really goes for it. It's kind of good. David Faustino comes back as the older of the two brothers. You know him. This is probably just before he got put on to Married with Children. So yeah, this is a really just crazy collection of unfinished ideas that still made it into a movie. Like, they just keep throwing you in different directions for things, and they never fully resolve them. They just go, hey, you know what? What'll be cool in this scene is that if Dad was taken over by Mr. Boogedy, and he would just float around the house glowing and just going, Mr. Boogedy. And by the way, this is called Bride of Boogedy. There is literally no aspect of this film that has to do with the Bride of Boogedy. There's a slight mention in a recap of his origin at the very beginning. That like here's the impetus of how Bride of Boogedy will figure into the story. He's separated from the woman he loves, Marion. She's dead, and apparently she has a kid is dead. Maybe they were in the first film. I completely forget. I don't remember. But it's an unresolved plotline, apparently, if that is the case. They don't mention her again until like more than halfway through the film. And it becomes a plot point for Boogedy to keep bothering the family. and he wants to come into the reality, and the little boy helps the kids. There's just, it doesn't connect. In maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't focused enough. But you really shouldn't be that focused to enjoy a Disney, like, magical world of Disney movie. I mean, this is never, any part of this does not come across as like, you know what, I really need to concentrate and think on how this all fits together. This is, yeah, it's not Memento, okay, where you're just like, oh, it's backwards. It's not a thinker. It's not a movie that's a thinker. It's just good, silly fun. Some surprisingly good performances. Eugene Levy, as always, just playing a curmudgeon in this for the most part. But even he is redeemable. And the other people that throw up as red herrings as to being a threat, or maybe in league with Mr. Boogedy, or maybe the actual Mr. Boogedy and Mr. Boogedy isn't coming. Like, maybe it's a Scooby-Doo villain, where they're pretending to be a ghost, run the people out of town, run the family out of town. That goes nowhere. Suddenly, everybody you think is an enemy, for no reason, is just, hey, good friends with everybody. Like, they provide no threat other than, oh, you wore the same dress I wore today. It's just not. It's story structure wise, it's a mess. And by the way, I'm going to spoil a tiny little bit for you, just in general, not a specific plot point. Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. The whole thing with, maybe the goal would have been to get Mr. Boogedy to find his lost love in the afterlife. No, it was she's never became a part of the story, except he kept mistaking mom, and then, well, I'm not gonna say anything, but he mistook mom because she was wearing the dress sort of like a pilgrim dress, like his Marion used to wear. And I don't understand the point. See this Bride of Frankenstein hairstyle? What's the point of that? When we see flashbacks of Marion, she's blonde. She's just like sweet looking blonde. Has nothing wild and crazy and zapping stripes. None of that. None of that at all. I don't get it. Why they gave her that hairdo, I have no clue. It doesn't matter. One of the things I do enjoy about this, though, is whenever Mr. Boogedy or it's Mr. Boogedy powers. Whenever Mr. Boogedy powers are zapped anywhere, it's blaster fire from Star Wars. There's tons of blaster fire sounds throughout this. Zap, zap. Pew, pew. It's literally Star Wars. I don't know if Ben Burtt got a couple bucks for that or not, or Lucasfilm said, I don't know if because this is well after the original trilogy ended. I mean, nobody was using those sounds, I guess. So why not put them in our movie? I would have figured Lucasfilm would have copyrighted those sounds, but I guess not. I don't know. It's good fun, honestly. If you just want a good, silly... If you're having a Halloween party, and you've run through both Hocus Pocuses, and you have another set of movies you want to run through in the background, and just have people occasionally look and say, what the heck is going on with this? It's cheesy, it's funny, it's surprisingly well acted. The kids are not great. The kids, they are running through their lines. But, Jennifer's good. But especially Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad are great, and Eugene Levy. And, what was his name? This guy who shows up. They uses the term gypsy. Not a good look, but that hasn't aged well. Karen Kardashian plays Madelininska. Okay, sure. And Vincent Schiavelli plays Lazarus. And if you know... I probably said his name wrong. Schiavelli. Vincent Schiavelli. Once you see his face, you've seen enough movies, you'll go, that guy's in this. That's kind of awesome. So to see him in this playing a gravedigger, and then the kids, after meeting the gravedigger in the graveyard, say, "Hey, why don't you come home with us?" And he's like all creepy and ominous to them. They're like, you know what? We've had enough creepy stuff happen to us in the last 4 hours. Let's just take a gravedigger home with us and to meet our parents for some reason. Yeah. It's not a whole lot of good choices are being made in this, but it just feels like especially Richard Mazer, I get the feeling a lot of his delivery and a lot of what his character gets to do is fully his. Like he's just improvising some just crazy line delivery. He is. I don't want to make the comparison because it could stick to all three of you watching. It's a Bill Murray level kind of delivery comedy that it feels there's certain Ghostbusters elements to this, but yeah, no, I shouldn't say that because then you're just gonna look at it as Bill Murray and go, that's not Bill Murray. It's not. It's not like he's trying to be Bill Murray at all. It's just that kind of that quality of laid back, just confident delivery is what makes him great. So that's all I can say without making it ruining it for you. He and this movie, he is great. The movie less so, but it's still entertaining, and that's what matters. So this Halloween, throw this into the movie mix in the background of your party or whatever, and have people go, "What the hell are we watching?" And that's for the people who don't know. People who do know will be enthralled. So yeah, check it out. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
60.
Oh, Jesus, not go very far. 3 spots. All right. Well, I was wondering when we're going to get to this. This is brand new to the list. This was just added a few days ago because of our reset of the list every quarter. It's a concert. I'm going to watch a concert. I'm going to watch a brand new concert that was just added to Disney Plus in the last few weeks, I think. Last 3 months at least. And it's a band I never thought I'd see perform. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Billie Eilish thing when it eventually shows up in the selection. I like her music, but and I know I'm an old man to say this. How dare you? She's a good singer. I like her. But this, a friend of mine has a daughter who's very much into these boys, and you might have an idea what I'm talking about. No, it's not the Jonas Brothers. This is a K-pop band. BTS. I'm pretty sure that's who they are. Let's see. I'm the old guy who is guessing. I'm pretty sure it's BTS is the band I'm thinking of, the pop group that I'm thinking of. Permission to Dance. And this is their performance on stage in Los Angeles here. So not too far from where I am right now. I had a chance to see them. I had a chance to see this show live, I guess, had I tried. So BTS, Permission to Dance on stage in LA. That's what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.